Next on Worcester News tonight, a waste management service in Millbury is ranked one of the dirtiest in the country. A new report says pollutants from the company could contribute to respiratory problems. Plus, a Becker College student goes pro while still studying. The senior was signed to a team as a professional gamer. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. A beautiful weekend across central Massachusetts, but it looks like we could be seeing more rain over the course of the week. A hazardous weather outlook is in effect. The National Weather Service says there is a low risk for heavy rainfall, which could lead to localized flooding. Let's get a first look at our local forecast.
Hey, good evening. The showers continue to increase in intensity and in coverage as we go into your overnight forecast. By 10 o'clock, there you see some scattered showers across central Massachusetts, Worcester and Leominster, and our temperatures hold in the 60s overnight tonight because we have the warm front lifting through our area. Behind it, a cold front, but that doesn't push in until early Tuesday. And the showers and thunderstorm chances still continue after midnight tonight, with the last push of rainfall moving through Tuesday late morning. So this evening, the showers start to move in here, 68 degrees, and our temperatures remain in the 60s overnight with a couple thunderstorm chances embedded within the heavy downpours. By the morning, the rain tapers off, but temperatures in the low 60s, and we start off warm. We're going to end the day warm too as we get the rain showers out of here by Tuesday afternoon. We're dry for midweek, especially into Wednesday, then one more round of rain before the weekend. Your latest update in the 10-day forecast.
All right, thank you, Pamela. A new report ranks a waste management service in Millbury as one of the top polluters in the nation. Wheelabrator says they complete compliance checks and are up to code, but some who live in town say the new information is concerning. Our Chandler Walsh spoke with Millbury's town manager about the report. She joins us live now with the latest. Chandler.
Olivia, Millbury's town manager doesn't believe there's reason for residents to worry. Wheelabrator says the organization who conducted the report is an anti-waste-to-energy organization and says their Millbury facility meets strict standards. A recent study ranks Wheelabrator Millbury as one of the nation's highest polluting incinerators. The facility converts solid waste from the surrounding communities to energy. The report by the Tishman Environment and Design Center in New York ranks the facility high for nitrogen oxides and sulfur dioxide emissions. Both are linked to respiratory issues.
Well, I'm concerned, of course. I mean, the air we breathe is not clean anyway.
Chris Miller has lived in town for more than a decade and says it's alarming.
It's a big plant. It takes in a lot of towns, too.
But town manager David Marciello says the report shouldn't be cause for concern.
The DEP follows this type of establishment very closely. There are reports that have to be filed.
Millbury's Wheelabrator incinerator has been running since the 80s, and Marciello says he hasn't had any reports of health issues.
I think that people need to rest assured that this is something that is regulated through the state, and the state is watching it very closely.
Wheelabrator Technologies says they complete compliance checks each day to make sure they're meeting EPA and Mass DEP air quality standards. In a statement, they say waste to energy is globally recognized as a safe and environmentally responsible form of waste management and energy creation. The EPA endorses waste to energy and prefers it to landfilling.
They've been a very good partner with the town, and obviously, it's a necessary evil. We have to get rid of our refuse.
Mass DEP says Wheelabrator Millbury consistently meets their limits. They say there have been some cases where they've exceeded limits, but it's under constant monitoring and resolved right away. Live in Millbury, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
A pediatrician took the stand today in the fifth day of testimony in the so-called Blackstone House of Horrors murder trial. UMass Memorial Dr. Heather Forkey described her concern while examining the 3-year-old and 5-month-old girls found covered in feces in Erica Murray's home in 2014. Dr. Forkey testified both girls showed signs of developmental and physical delays that were so concerning they were immediately admitted to the hospital.
We were very concerned that this was a child who had experienced a profound amount of neglect, and that as a result she had physical consequences of that emotional consequences of that and developmental consequences of that.
And Murray is charged with the murder of 2 of the 3 dead babies found in the home back in September of 2014. Red Sox legend David Ortiz recovering after being shot. Ortiz was shot last night in his native Dominican Republic. Ortiz was sitting inside a bar in the capital of Santo Domingo when it happened. He was rushed to the hospital where he has undergone surgery, and we are now getting a look at the surveillance video of Ortiz being shot in the back. Ortiz was ambushed by a gunman, and now investigators are trying to determine whether Ortiz was the intended target. John Maroney has been tracking all of the developments.
It was jarring. It was frankly stunning and terrifying.
It happened suddenly and apparently without warning. This surveillance video captures the moment David Ortiz is shot at close range. The former Sox star slumps to the ground as the crowd scatters.
For somebody who's not only, he's iconic, but he's a friend. And when you hear that, you feel for him and his family.
In what authorities are calling an ambush, 2 men approached Ortiz at the Dial Bar and Lounge in Santo Domingo and shot him in the lower back. Ortiz was with a friend and Dominican TV host who snapped this picture before the shooting. The Boston slugger was rushed to a nearby clinic and underwent surgery. His father said last night that no major organs had been damaged and Big Papi will be around for a long time.
One thing about David, he's strong. He has no fear. He never showed weaknesses. So because of that reason, the Lord will be with him.
According to reports, Ortiz had his gallbladder removed along with parts of his liver and intestines. Still no word on a motive. One suspect is still at large while the alleged gunman was stopped and beaten up by people at the bar. He's now in custody. David Ortiz is expected to arrive here in Boston later tonight. When he does, he will be taken directly to Mass General Hospital. In Boston, I'm John Maroney for Worcester News Tonight.
And a lot of people have been taking to social media to show their support for Big Papi, including Ortiz's former teammate Pedro Martinez, Tom Brady, and even former President Obama. Susan Tran has that part of the story.
Hours before the Red Sox play, and fans from Tennessee to Taiwan are at Fenway Park. The focus not on tonight's game, but on Big Papi.
It's David Ortiz. The guy's got a huge heart. And why would anybody want to do that to David Ortiz?
They learned the retired slugger was shot in his hometown in the Dominican Republic, and shock was the prevailing word.
I feared for the worst when I first started.
Very sad. Very sad. Yeah, because he is a Big Papi for everybody. And then he is very kind for everybody.
To see something like that happen to someone like that is it's just hard to see.
Number 34 may not be on the lineup anymore, but his presence is all around Fenway. There are 3 World Series banners he helped the team win, and a bridge now named after him.
He's Boston. That smile, he's a Red Sox for life.
Fans now rallying around the man they've long considered the heart of Red Sox Nation.
We're praying for him and that we hope for a good recovery.
Hope you get well soon.
He's just an icon here. So, it's David Ortiz. He's a family member to the city of Boston, and he's a New Englander. So, when something like that happens, even down in the Dominican, you feel for him and you pull for him.
The Red Sox organization says they've been so busy coordinating to get David Ortiz back here to Boston, they really haven't organized anything formal for him at tonight's game. But fans we spoke with say they will definitely be keeping him in their thoughts. In Boston, Susan Tran, Worcester News Tonight.
In brighter news for area sports fans, the Bruins are coming back to Boston after forcing a Game 7.
Across to Pasternak again. Pasternak sent it across. Score! Coleman is shot. He scores! Pasternak, he scores!
And the Bruins staying alive in the Stanley Cup final. The Bees crushing the Blues last night in St. Louis. The Bees winning Game 6 5-1 to even the series at 3 games apiece. And a Central Massachusetts town manager is starting a new tradition to celebrate Boston sports teams winning. Rutland is the geographical center of Massachusetts. Town manager Michael Nicholson is placing a friendly bet with the center of Missouri and hopes the Bruins will win Game 7 and the town will get a goodie basket from Jefferson City. Our Brittany Schaefer spoke with people about Wednesday's Game 7 and joins us now with more. Brittany.
Olivia, the entire season comes down to this game. Fans I spoke to say the Bruins have been outplaying the Blues and they are ready for another New England champion.
And it's 4-1.
The Boston Bruins winning big in a do-or-die Game 6 was music to Michael Nicholson's ears.
I am a lifelong Bruins fan. We're lucky to live where we are, and I feel sorry for the rest of the country.
The Rutland town administrator is so confident in the Bruins, he has placed a friendly bet. The town is the geographic center of Massachusetts. Their counterpart in Missouri is Jefferson City.
Jefferson City, Missouri, which is actually their capital city. So it was somewhat of a reach, but they accepted it. Turns out their city manager is a former Boston resident. So he kind of jumped at the opportunity.
Whichever town's team loses will have to send a basket filled with local goods from their area. While Nicholson hopes the Bruins will win, he has an idea of what the town would send.
Some maple syrup from local farmers, a couple different Rutland items that say the town of Rutland on it, things from our local farms. When the Bruins win on Wednesday night, the people over in Jefferson City are definitely going to be rocking the black and gold.
Worcester fans agree the Bruins have what it takes to take home the Stanley Cup.
I'm a Bees fanatic and I get really pumped, really excited. The neighbors probably hear me going crazy. If Tuukka Rask plays well and the rest of the guys can put in a couple goals, we're going to take it.
I've watched every single game, fan support, home ice. I think we got the momentum just to take it. I think we're ready. Cue the duck boats.
Nicholson already won a similar wager when backing the Patriots in the Super Bowl. He thinks the Bruins have the players to make Rutland's record 2-for-2.
Rask should have a great game. He's been doing great all season. And Chara's shown he's tough as nails. We're going out to play with a broken jaw. So I think we got nothing to worry about. We're going to take home that cup.
Nicholson says he thinks it'll be a low-scoring game, but the Bruins will win. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
It's been more than 6 decades since a deadly tornado touched down in Worcester County. A memorial on Quinsigamond Community College's campus honors the 94 people killed in the storm. On June 9th, 1953, an F4 tornado touched down in Petersham around 4:30 in the afternoon. It tore through Rutland, Holden, Worcester, Shrewsbury, Westboro, and Southboro. The storm injured nearly 1,300 people and about 10,000 were left homeless. United Technologies and Raytheon are merging to create a $120 billion aerospace and defense giant. The new company will be based in the Boston area. It will make everything from engines and seats for commercial planes and fighter jets to Patriot missiles. United Technologies is based in Connecticut. Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal says he is troubled by the potential impact of the headquarters leaving his state. He's urging the federal government to look into the merger. A Becker College student is going pro. The senior from Millbury was signed to a gamer team where he will play the collectible card game Eternal. As our Rosalind Flaherty explains, Justin Duclos says it's an opportunity he couldn't turn down.
Justin Duclos is taking his love for video games to the next level. The Becker College student signed with a professional team to play the collectible card game called Eternal.
The best part about the game, honestly, is the interaction between the community and the people.
Duclos says the card game is similar to Pokemon and is played virtually. He started playing video games in high school and got competitive last year.
It's been a crazy journey.
The college's esports program was established last year. It's a form of competition using video games. Duclos will be the first player at Becker College to sign to a professional team while still a student.
It's really exciting. We're all about trying to create great opportunities for our students.
Duclos is signed to Team Genji. He says he is among the top 100 players in the world for the game right now, but hopes to get to the top 10.
I think the future holds a lot of profit for me, so I'm hoping that inevitably this will all pay off.
He says he's also an artist and hopes to design games someday. Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
An Oxford man earns a unique title this weekend. He is the World Hostess Donuts Eating Champion after eating 235 of the sugary treat. Jeffrey Espers has made somewhat of a career out of competitive eating. He beat out Joey Chestnut, the top-ranked competitive eater in the world, Friday for the title. The competition in Austin, Texas lasted 6 minutes. In total, 1,160 donuts were eaten. Chestnut set a record last year when he ate 257 donuts.